What's going on? Welcome back to the MVP.
Man's View Podcast, baby.
That's what's happening. How we doing today? We got a lot of people here today. It's a family affair. Like Big Mama's house. You know what I'm saying? All the goddamn people we got up in here. You know what I'm talking about? Like soul food or something like that.
For sure.
And before we go into this, though, I got to talk about, we got some music. Got the representative from Chosen Musicians here. He brought me an artist, you know what I'm saying? So I threw him on. You want to talk about him real quick?
They just put out some Christmas music, Just the Lions and RJ.
Okay.
The little drummer boys playing on there. You can check them out on SoundCloud, JRJ Music.
Okay, thank you. You ain't do no kind of promotion for my nigga, but that's cool. That's cool. We good. Thumbs up for you. Anyway, we got a lot of people here, so we're going to go around the room. We're going to introduce everybody. So we're going to start off with AD, man. What's happening? Say what's up to the people.
Luke Cage, ladies and gentlemen. Luke Cage in the building.
Okay, Cody. Go ahead, man. They know who you is, man.
They know who I am, Cody, a.k.a. Vail, a.k.a. the nigga that be always telling all the extra stories, a.k.a. the guy that holds it down, a.k.a. Dwayne Booker's rival, and I will kill him if we do another battle. Can I get a bomb? Nah, I ain't get no bomb.
You ain't get no bomb for that.
I passed.
If you'd been on time, I would have been ready for that. You ain't getting none of that.
And this is Jasmine, Cody's wife.
Milton Matthews, glad to be here.
Yes, sir.
Joanne Matthews.
Okay.
Landria, the favorite sister of the Matthews clan.
Okay.
Cambria, the daughter of the favorite sister of the Matthews clan.
Hey, hold up.
And Kimberly LaFrance's wife.
That's what I'm talking about. So as y'all see, we got a lot of people in here today. We got a whole bunch of topics. We got a lot of stuff to get into. But before that, anybody got anything interesting that happened throughout the week that they want to share with anybody? You know what I'm saying? Before we get into the stuff, it's not going to be heavy duty as we normally do. Cambria is here, so we don't want to go too wild on it. You know what I'm saying? We don't want you to see your grandparents and your mom and them in a different light. So we're not going to go that hard on you. So, but other than that, anybody got any kind of, usually Cody take this and tell about his whole week and stuff that didn't make no sense.
Because I usually have a lot going on, bro. And y'all ask. And so I let y'all know.
That's my fault. But I'm not asking you this time. I'm asking
Okay.
anybody else but Cody.
All right.
Yes,
I got
ma'am.
something for the people.
Okay, go ahead.
As y'all know, I surprised the family by coming in from Atlanta, Georgia. And my main pet peeve I had to deal with, and that's airplane etiquette.
Where did you come in on? Which one?
Delta Airlines.
did Delta?
I ain't fly Spirit because I ain't feel like having a foot start.
Spirit, right.
Yeah, nah.
Spirit, you got to start the engine yourself.
Yeah, we're good on that. I've had my times with Spirit.
Right.
I upgraded and went to Delta.
Amen.
But dealt with some crying children. If you know your children are not well behaved in public, please, for those of us who pay good money for these tickets and these seats, control your bad behind children.
But it's difficult to try to control your child when you on there.
I got
if your child crying,
2 words for you. Dyma tap.
Drug 'em.
FDA.
I don't want to hear nothing about that. I pay good money not to be interrupted by little Caden in the front and Ryder in the back.
Know their
I
names.
heard Baby Shark one more time. It was going to be a misunderstanding on that airplane. So, for y'all with them bad behind children.
they're not necessarily bad.
Catch the Greyhound.
They're not necessarily bad, though. They just, it might be their first time traveling.
Bro, it sounds like you think she talking about JR. Is that the issue?
But
I mean, you're defending some rider and some cadence that you don't know, but it seems like in your heart you think JR is a little bad, man. What's going on?
We used to be those people, right? No, I'm talking about get on an airplane and be like, man, this child. So when we had JR and we used to fly with him, we used to be like, so nervous, super nervous.
Yeah, because ain't nobody going to check us. Ain't nobody going to say nothing to me. Let them say something.
But we always was lucky, and people, and you could tell because people was like, oh, wow, I didn't even hear him. So they was expecting for some chaos to go on during the flight, too.
That ain't going to happen there. They going to hit JR now. Ain't no way in the world you doing no plane ride and don't hit JR.
Last time.
Watch your mouth, Uncle Franz.
What's up?
All right, Uncle Franz.
That's why I can say it.
Okay.
I'm family.
All right.
You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
We ain't going to let nobody else say it, but I'm going to say it.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? Hey.
Okay.
Hey. But that's what's happening, Landon. Landon came in there, you know what I'm saying? Here with the family, surprised the folks, everybody. That was a good surprise for y'all. How do y'all feel about that?
It was excellent, man.
That's
Even
right.
my grandma got almost crying on the phone when we was
Everybody
talking
was
about
so
it. She was like,
surprised.
Land's there too.
Mhm.
Grandma went crazy, man.
That's good. That's what's happening. Well, anybody else got anything else? If you can't beat it, don't worry about saying that. I'm pretty sure you can't beat it.
I'm just glad I didn't tell the surprise. That's all I was.
Nobody should have told you the surprise because you can't hold water.
Well, he found out by accident.
Right, I know.
I
I know.
asked a lot of questions. I said, who coming? And then they said, I said, Land coming, huh? And they're like, yep, she coming. They said, we can't tell Adrian now. They was on the way to get them, and I was like, I almost said it then. I was like, oh, my fault. I won't call back. I ain't called him in a couple of days.
Yes.
I just came over. I'm glad I didn't tell her because it was a good surprise.
Thank you, Adrian. Thank you.
Yeah.
She rolled her eyes, ladies and gentlemen. Y'all didn't see that, but it was done. It was done.
And it's Luke Cage, ladies and gentlemen. Luke Cage.
Ain't nobody calling you Luke Cage. You do what you want to. In the Man's View podcast, your name is AD, Adrian.
Your mama named you Adrian, right?
We gonna name you Adrian.
We gonna
The
call
family
it.
here.
Right.
Yep.
Oh,
Oh, throw the whole government out there. There you go.
Oh, look.
The whole government.
Dang.
It's all good. I wish I had middle name.
I do.
The shade.
No.
Okay. We're going to get right into it. We got a couple topics today. I got a couple of topics that's pretty light, and then we'll get into some of the heavier, more important stuff in the end of the podcast. But one thing we wanted to talk about, we wanted to bring up today is how did you guys feel about telling your kids about Santa and Febreze? How did you feel when you found out the man wasn't real?
How do you know she found that out already?
She just found out today, so she could still tell me what's going on, how she feels,
She serious today?
or what's happening.
Okay, so I actually found out in like 2nd grade, I think, but it was from another kid, and they were like, "Hey, you know Santa's not real," and I was like, "What are you talking about?" And they're like, "Yeah, it's not real." So I went home and I was like, "Mommy, is Santa real?" And she was like, "Oh well."
Like, how do you break that news to your child? Like, if I didn't tell her, I don't think, you try to preserve a child's innocence as long as you can.
Yeah.
Bree was very sheltered, I think, in my eyes. So I wanted her to have that innocence. So I did go along with the whole Santa thing for a while. But when she finally came to me, I was just like, oh, well, okay, this is really what it is. And then that's how you bring it apart. But nowadays, I think it's kids. Kids gonna tell it. They gonna tell the business at home, and they gonna tell their, Easter Bunny, no Santa Claus, no Tooth Fairy. So
they gonna say we live in a lie. Everything we doing is a lie.
everything, yeah.
Amber got in trouble at school because she told. I think how old was she when we finally told her? I think she was like 4 or 5, but she was in kindergarten or 1st grade, and she used to get, how they send those notes home from school. Cameron was a yellow today or red today or whatever, and she got a yellow, and so the teacher put on there to like call her. So I called the teacher, and she was like, "Yeah, Cameron just, she got into it with a couple of the kids today." And I was like, "Well, what happened?" She was like, "Well, she told the little girls that Santa wasn't real." And so the little girls started crying. And I was like, oh, my gosh. So when she got home, of course, I couldn't be mad at her.
Man, life hits you quick.
Cameron, if you know Cameron is just going to tell you the truth, whether you like it or not. So she was just like, Mom, she was like, well, they thought he was real, so I had to tell them that he wasn't.
Sound like a
Like,
dad.
oh
Sound like
my
a dad.
God, yes.
It sounds just
That
like a
is her-
dad.
that
It
is
is
her
what it
dad.
is.
No, it ain't. I didn't tell her. I left it alone because her mama wanted her to have
I
that.
went to that innocence
A
for
few
as
Christmas, I
long
wasn't
as
allowed at the
possible.
house because I told her I was threatening to tell her every year.
Yes. And you was gonna get kicked out.
It is
You
what
were
it is.
not allowed.
I got
But
different.
do
I'm sorry.
anybody have a problem with, especially if you are a Christian or a believer, do you have a problem? Because I know a lot of people have an issue between Santa Claus and Jesus. In my opinion, JR goes to church on a regular basis, and he has not mixed the two up at all. So in my household, I hadn't seen an issue with that.
Well, because we hadn't said anything about Santa Claus, about bringing presents and stuff like that.
He knows it
From what he hears
Yeah.
outside,
Yeah.
and so when he
Yeah.
because when he comes home, I'm not gonna entertain that. But I'm not gonna shut it down either because I know how Jasmine is about the Christmas spirit and all this and all that. So I'm gonna just say, ask your mama. That's all I'm gonna say.
That's what I did.
I ain't gonna lie. I ain't gonna lie to him. But you know what I'm saying? Like it is what it is. But it hadn't been that we hadn't had that opportunity to where I could say, ask your mom, and then she has to lie to him, quote unquote. Yeah. So I don't know.
But I got a different question for moms and pops. How do y'all feel? Do y'all feel like, because it's a thing that's been going around. People say, well, if you lie to your kids about Santa and stuff like that, then when you tell them about God, they're gonna be like, it's two things you can't see. How they gonna respect what you got to say if you done told them all this stuff is real? Then you pull out and say, nah, that ain't real, and then the only thing that's left is God. That's the only thing that you got that's gonna be real, and you told them everything else is fake. So how y'all gonna answer that one? How y'all feel about that?
Teach them the difference.
Teach them different.
Explain what the true meaning of Christmas is, and let them know the difference between Christmas and Christ. Christianity is one thing. Christmas is just a celebration, a time of year that's been considered that we all get sentimental. We show love more than we normally do, and we give our gifts to express that love. But at the same time, don't get that confused with Christianity. It's like going to church. You going to church is fine, but just because you go to church don't make you a Christian. So if you know what a Christian is, be a Christian. So if you know what Christmas is, explain Christmas to your kids. Again, if you choose to, explain Christmas to your kids as it is. Ain't nothing wrong with that. Your kids will surprise you most of the time. They understand better than what we know sometimes. So just share with them what the difference is. There's nothing wrong with celebrating Christmas. But at the same time, just show them Christmas is not Christ. It's just a time of year where we show love, which is an example of what Jesus is supposed to do. But it's that season. And just teach them that difference.
I agree.
So, I mean, but what you do once you started that, though? I mean, you already went down that road to like, hey, Santa Claus, you be good, you know.
My mom and dad never taught us that Santa was real. And so when we came up, we were still like really heavy in the church. I was born and raised in the church. So Santa was never a topic in the Matthews household, but it was never talked about like Santa was bad either. I just kind of, I don't know how I knew, but I think I just kind of was like, you know, I knew that people talked about
You was
Santa
that person. You was the person that was saying Santa ain't real. You was the one.
was.
Yeah, you was the one.
Kim definitely was. Kim should have had a T-shirt that said Jesus is the reason for the season.
Yeah, back then.
Because that's all we knew. And like we were raised in the church. So we don't have childhood. I think I might, when I was very young, had one photo on Santa's lap. Kim probably don't have those memories at all.
I have photos of the Christmas play in the sanctuary.
Yeah, but they were dressed as
Sheet number 2.
yeah. Mary,
She pointed that out.
and
That
the
was that
three
was back
wise men.
that was back in
Yeah.
2000. So y'all can check that.
So yeah, if it wasn't biblical for us, we really didn't have that. But I didn't feel robbed as a child either because we still had Christmas trees, we still had gifts. So just imagine, I have a coworker who was raised Jehovah's Witness who didn't celebrate any holidays at all. So they don't even know, you know, they didn't talk about Santa. Santa was the Antichrist to them, you know, that type of thing. So, but as you know, he still had a decent childhood. So people think that, you know, lying to your child and saying this or not lying to them and telling them the truth. Either way, how you present it is really ultimately the goal, as long as the child is educated on the difference, like Dad was saying.
And to go further, you can tell that there's power in just God in Christ, because when I was growing up, I was in a very religious household, but my grandma believed in talking about Christmas and Santa. And the way I found out about Santa not being real was that I had got up one Christmas Eve, and my dad was eating the cookies. And I was like, why are you eating cookies for Santa? And I remember The Color Purple being on. I don't know if they still play The Color Purple Christmas Eve, but back then that's what they did.
They played that for Christmas Eve? Okay.
And he finally admitted to me that there was no Santa Claus. And I never felt, okay, well, Santa's not real, God is not real. That never crossed my mind at all. So I believe that, like Miss Joanne was talking the other day, or maybe yesterday, God is in us. So I don't think that our children will mix the two.
No, because God is something that you feel. The God is something that you experience, and so I think that's innate in all of us, especially as when we're little. We don't know what it is when we're little, but as an adult, I can articulate that I know God can't. No one can tell me that God is not real because I've experienced God for myself. I've experienced Jesus for myself. So with Santa Claus, of course, you don't experience that. That's a totally different concept.
Well,
but with God, you do.
Let me hit you up with this, okay? Santa Claus, you be good, you get gifts. God, you be good, he give you shit.
No.
In your mind, as a kid, just the simplest way of thinking.
But
It goes back to teaching.
I was just about to say,
You can teach all you want though, but
Well,
once you come out that
because
you lied
No,
to me.
but JR doesn't know that. Doesn't believe God gives me things. God is with me everywhere.
Yep.
I am safe, Mom, because God is with me. Why are you worried about me?
He says that. He
Yes.
says
So it's about how you teach.
That's how my mom and dad brought us up as well.
Have you known a kid that's been in that situation? I haven't known a kid that didn't know what kind of got it mixed up like that. I haven't been in that.
Look,
you know a situation?
me personally, I'm the type of person I am. Once you tell me some bullshit, I'm looking at you strange the whole time. So if you're telling me all these people's real, then you telling me this little white dude giving me these gifts, and I'm trying to be on the naughty, I'm trying to be on the good list and not be on the naughty list. And I know some bad people, and they was getting the hella gifts. So when you telling me some bullshit, I already knew Santa wasn't real.
I mean, I guess I see your point, Franz, but I don't know anyone that's like tell their kids about Santa in that form. You know, Santa's gonna come if you gotta be nice, you gotta be good.
That's
Santa's
the whole
not gonna
story.
give you
that's
no,
not.
you gotta be good or you're not gonna get any Christmas presents. There's no Santa involved in that.
I disagree because I do. Even being in, working in sales and retail, being in a store and you hear some people tell little Jimmy, if you do not act right, Santa's not going to give you any presents this year.
Yeah, that's true.
So there is a correlation between doing good and that's where the whole naughty list.
Yeah.
He's making a list. He's checking it twice. He's going to find out who's naughty or nice.
Yeah.
That's where it all comes
Yes.
from.
And that goes into something very deep that we have to be careful what we ingrain in our children's brain. If you don't have to say Santa, you're just not going to get any gifts. So then when they bring up the Santa, well, I never said Santa brought gifts.
Santa's name ain't on none of the gifts that we give out. You ask who gave it to you, you looking at it. You know what I'm talking about? Like,
well, I have an early childhood memory. I've always been kind of rebellious. Can y'all tell that? I've been kind of
not mom.
So what happened? Was, but this is, I want to tell you this story because I tell my students this story too. I've always questioned authority and questioned adults. And you know how it started? My earliest memory is it was around the Santa Claus thing. And so we were circling in our neighborhood and my uncle and my dad and them got the signals mixed up. And so we came around and I saw them putting the gifts in the car. I was done. Even at 6, I said, they tell us not to lie, and they've been lying to me the whole time. Now, I remember distinctly thinking that at that age. And from that point, I was the child that said, I wonder what else they lying to me about.
I can see you thinking that.
It's the truth. And so from that point, my whole life, I've gotten in trouble questioning authority. Because they'll tell me something, I was like, so why I got to listen to what you say? Where that come from? Who told you that?
So it come from all them parents who tell the truth that there ain't no Santa Claus, or they lie and then backtrack, and now all their kids locked up because they questioning authority. So it's the deep-rooted issues from childhood memories.
Yeah, I've got
know.
suspended. I've gotten ISS. I've gotten fired.
You got a record on you, don't you?
I do. And it was. I do. And it was always been an adult or somebody in authority telling me that I was a liar. And I'm like, no, you the lie.
Oh.
And back then, when you call an adult a liar, you might as well cuss them. And so I got in trouble for that. Because for me, even as a child, I'm like, You tell us not to lie, but you've been lying. You are liars. And boy, that didn't go over well. So that's for me. I have, and when I got saved, I remembered that, and I really didn't want to mix that. I didn't want them to think it was okay to have the fables and the understand because you can get something out of those allegories.
You can.
And so for me, it wasn't mixed, and I think we tried our very best not to mix them.
And I think, hey, y'all heard our perspectives on that one. You know what I'm saying? We just gonna leave that one right there. I think we could talk about this for a whole podcast.
Yeah.
So
it can go.
we gonna leave that one alone. But
it can go.
all I'm saying is that's something you think about when you got your kids and stuff like that. I know it's fun to do the Santa Claus thing. I mean, by all means, keep it moving. I mean, but just also be aware things like that can linger. You know what I'm saying?
Teach them the difference.
Yep.
Teach them the difference.
Now we done with that. You know what we do as customary in the house of the MVP.
I said a year.
Europe. On to the next topic. Okay. This one is a good one because I want to know what Cambria thinks about this first, because you might be in a relationship now, and we want to be nosy. So
basically.
Yeah. So if you just started talking to a young gentleman, you know what I'm saying, young suave man, not man, boy, no men, but if you just start talking to him, say about 3 weeks or so, December, that's first week of December or something like that? Mm-hmm. Okay. Do you think he need to buy you a present for Christmas?
Okay, so if we're just talking, then, well...
That's all you should be doing, though, talking. It don't matter how long.
What else you got going on?
That's it.
What you talking about?
Yeah.
What are you trying to say to her?
There's nothing else you should be doing, talking. That's it.
So... No. Well, I like gifts, so I'd say yes, but like just for me personally, like anybody else, it's okay if they don't get you a gift because you're not like dating, you know. Yeah, that's all.
She ain't trying to go too deep.
Hey.
That's all.
But
she ain't trying to compromise herself.
But that's pretty much the question. I want to know, like, hey, we in a new relationship. We've been together about 3 weeks.
Okay, number one, there's gifts that's like $5 at Walmart.
Why
That's
I got
some
to get you something?
Nice gifts, right?
I don't even know
if
you
I
like
get
that
my
yet.
coworker who I don't really care too much for. Google Home.
Yeah, don't worry about that. You know?
If I can give my coworker something, I can get somebody that I have some type of interest in.
Exactly.
Right?
I agree with that 100%. If you can go and give somebody, if you can go put $5 in the Salvation Army thing when they ringing the bells outside of Walmart, why couldn't you get somebody that you have shown interest in dating a gift? Even something really simple. And it doesn't even have to cost money. You can just, take them somewhere or y'all go hang out
Okay.
or something for Christmas.
So let's assume.
Don't come around a black family, right? We introducing.
Hold up. That's another one. That's part 2 of this. Why do I got to see your family? We just started talking about 2-3 weeks ago.
Exactly.
Why are you already at the
Because
family?
it's the time of year, just
No,
simply
it ain't
because of
that.
the time of year, you're probably going to see their family.
Nah.
Then don't get in a relationship around this time of year then.
Nah.
You can't help when you get in a relationship.
Well, then you got to deal with the consequences that come
Oh,
with
so
that.
it's a
That's a
consequence?
consequence.
So it's considered a consequence
it's
whenever you...
considered a consequence because he made it seem like a consequence.
No.
Meeting somebody's family is not a consequence.
No, I'm
It's not
saying
a bad thing.
meeting
It's
somebody...
A privilege.
Yes, but it's not a privilege to have to buy them, be obligated to buy them a gift within 3 weeks. That's not a privilege.
It's 3 weeks.
That's an obligation.
It's not an obligation.
That is an obligation.
You
It's
waste
decency.
how
That's what
much
that
money?
is.
Like it's
It's
not a
decency.
focus on the present. It's literally this is where the thought, it's the thought that counts.
Land.
Right.
The way I look at it is I don't want you expecting anything. If I give you anything,
Be happy.
then be happy.
Mhm.
Right. If you don't get anything, be happy. Period. That's my
I
whole...
can translate that into something else, but Bree is right here.
Okay, 'cause
So
they don't want to hear that.
yes.
Flip that script.
Okay.
Hold on.
Okay, we married,
Hold up.
so-
I really want to hear from Pops because he got that look on his face. Like he observing all this.
He's the wisdom.
And I want to hear that old school game. If you was dating mom, not even moms, we go somebody else.
Look at mom. The way mom's looking at him, I don't even like that. I'm uncomfortable for you, pops.
Yeah, I'm trying to make up a name. We go
No name.
with Chili Chantilly. You know what I'm saying? Somebody from the Cosby Show. Somebody, it don't matter. Eunice Chantilly. That's who you is. You started dating Eunice about 3 weeks ago, Pops. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Christmas is right around the corner, a couple days from now. You gonna get us something?
Probably, but not because I'm obligated.
Oh.
The difference is, I don't feel like you have to be obligated to do anything. If it's a relationship, it's the freedom to do it. It ain't about being obligated. If I'm in an early stage of a relationship, then the first thing I am trying to do is impress her. Not faking now, but just being real with her. And I just think it's only nice. It ain't got nothing to do with the fact that I have to. It's got everything to do with I choose to. And so it's just my choice to do it. I don't feel obligated, and I don't think that person should obligate me, and I'm not going to obligate them.
And I love that. That's a key word. They should not obligate you.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So if you, for some reason, let's just say, everybody, she with her family, Eunice with her family, you with your family, because it is Christmas. Y'all come together the day after Christmas. I didn't see you. Christmas over.
That was yesterday.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? I was with my family, you was with your family.
Okay, then the relationship is over.
What?
The relationship is over.
Because if you went through a holiday season where everybody is thinking about giving and loving, and you didn't even think about me, and enough to buy me a Starbucks card or something,
I'm gonna be real.
You ain't the person I'm trying to move forward with.
I agree.
I'm gonna throw another monkey wrench in it. So I know a guy that does not celebrate Christmas. That met some girl.
There we go.
And told her up front, say, "Hey, I don't do Christmas.
I don't do no
Literally,
holidays. There we
no
go.
holidays."
Right.
And she said, "Okay, cool, that's fine. We can go on. Here come Christmas." You know, he goes to his family house, even though he don't celebrate. But you know, family, you're not gonna miss your family gathering. So he goes there. She goes there. But before he leaves, she expected him to come meet her dad. After he said, "I don't want to get involved in a Christmas situation at all." What do you do at that point?
No,
what do you do if you up front, like a person's up front about it, and she's okay with it? Gifts,
but meeting her dad.
Meeting her dad, but then I knew at the same that night.
No, not you. Somebody else knew.
I know that. Yeah, meet the dad, but at the
See
same
the total on itself.
That's the night they get gifts.
Right.
Okay, and that's another thing with a relationship. It's called. Sometimes you come in a relationship and you have different beliefs, right, systems, and you're trying to get to know each other. So if I've got with Cody and I know that he celebrated Christmas and I didn't, unless I thought that I was really going to hell or something, I would try to understand his traditions.
Some type of compromise.
Can I be honest? It's a well-known fact, and this is an MVP fact, that men don't celebrate Christmas. We just do it because you guys like it.
Amen. Amen.
Yeah, I mean,
we only do it because the wives want to do it.
Yeah, I mean that's pretty much it.
Do it for JR.
Yeah, I do it. I did it for you before JR though, even before we had.
Yeah.
It.
But you don't do Christmas.
I do for them.
But he talks about how his Christmas, he wished that when he was growing up, his Christmas would be a lot better. So that's why my Christmas were always good. So that's why I always try to really explode Christmas so Cody can have that Christmas.
Cody Jr.
No, Cody Senior. And had a Christmas he ain't never had.
Okay. I see.
She do it for little man. She do it for
you before JR.
Please
I got
remember
you.
We knew you before you had JR. Thank you very much.
I don't remember myself before I had JR.
I also think it's a generational thing
Okay, elaborate.
because men my husband's age
Yeah.
were kind of taught to romance women with gifts and things.
Yeah.
And so there was an expectation that even if it was a week, I don't know.
Oh,
you
no,
would
ain't
bring
no
something.
week.
Oh yeah. You started bringing things to show your intentions, or even if you just like you to show interest. It didn't have to be something big, but it had to be something.
So, do you remember the first gift you got?
Why you did that?
That was
That's
good,
mad
though.
etiquette though.
But that was
Because
dope,
he might not know that.
Nah,
You wrong for that.
I don't
Yeah.
remember either.
Yeah.
Thank you.
It's a thought that counts,
It
though.
was a
Not pot.
But I'm sure he brought something.
It's open, not pot. You can just make up anything. She don't know.
It could have been.
Yeah, you
Violation, my fault.
violating. You
Yeah,
don't
retract
ask that
that
question.
statement.
Let
I
them
retract
ask
that
that. Don't ask
You don't have
that.
to answer that, but anyway.
Uh-uh.
I would like
Babe,
to
what
know-
you say? Do you think I'm right? Do you think I'm right about the generation?
You right, I believe, because we called it tricking back in the day. I mean,
They
you
say
had
it ain't
It
tricking
ain't
if you you got it. It's
if you
still
got
tricking.
it.
They
It's
changed-
still-
they changed
It's
that
still
up.
tricking if you
It's
got
still
it.
tricking.
Yes, it is.
My thing
It's
is
tricking. You just got it.
My
Well, then
thing.
maybe I'm old because even now, that's what I expect. I expect for you, but it also comes from the way I was raised. So the way that our father treated my sister and I, it kind of raised the bar and the standard for what we expect
From a
from,
man, from a man.
potential suitors.
Yeah.
You know, if you can't show me what you're capable of, whether it's the interest, whether it's your time, it's not even about the gift monetary wise.
I was
It's
gonna
the
ask you,
thought.
Is it about the money?
No, not at all.
They have $0 when we first started dating.
You got a couple.
At all.
But I came with a package every day. You know what I'm talking about?
My man.
You know what I'm saying?
My man. Know what
Hey.
I'm talking about? Know
You know what I'm
He
saying?
came through.
Keeps on
You know what I'm saying?
He came through.
Every time, she steadily unwrapping stuff. You know what I'm saying? How she gonna say that?
Hold up. My boy
But
did it.
It was the time that we spent.
That's
Like
it.
when he was around all his friends and stuff, he would act a certain way. But when we were together, the way he treated me, my dad showed me how a man should treat a woman.
Right.
And if you wasn't treating me like that, I didn't have time for that.
Right.
And so he got it together. And so once he started acting right all the time, we've been together ever since.
Yeah.
And that's how it was.
And that's
Yeah.
better than any monetary
Yeah.
or physical
It's better
gift
than
that
any
you
gift that
ever
I've ever gotten.
could have gotten.
Yeah.
So at the end
Yeah.
of the day, as long as the person is showing that they're trying to, not even
Yes.
trying, but doing
Yes.
the effort. Of
Yes,
putting
the
together.
effort.
It doesn't matter about the Christmas gift, not the
No.
holiday, no
At all.
birthday.
Right.
At all.
Not at all.
It's the
Because,
interest.
because you're evaluating the relationship, right?
There you go.
I'm very, personally, I'm very like against all holidays a lot of the
Yeah,
time.
we know.
I understand,
We know.
And so it's like,
but I can understand.
but I do,
Yeah.
like I understand about the gifts thing because you get caught up anyways in a relationship. Guys be trying to show, we try to show out anyways,
Girls do too.
just because.
In other ways, yeah.
And so we and then, but at the same time, so I don't get caught up for corporate reason why I try to go against the grain on that because I think they swingle us in every year. We're going to buy this Mother's Day coming around. We got to get these gifts. Walmart transfer. They started Christmas in July this year. I saw one. I was like, this is we in July. So that's in my mind. But I do that, so I choose not to do it on those days.
But believe it or not, though, even though what you're saying is good, the root cause behind that is tradition. The cause of it, meaning it causes people to feel like if I don't do this, I'm less than.
And that's what I felt like when I.
And when you're talking about relationships, you can't get this twisted. Relationships ain't got nothing to do with nothing materialistic. When we give somebody something materialistic, that's just an expression of what I feel towards you. That's all. I always should have the freedom to do that. But if it's about the relationship, we're always doing things to show, to express that I'm interested in you at all times. It ain't about this, that, and the other. It's about you. And so sometimes it's just good to say, okay, because I know she like this, or she's a female, I know females have certain tastes towards certain things, then to express what I feel towards her. From the inside, I might go get something. Not because I have to. It ain't got nothing to do with that. I feel like that's a part of me showing her that I'm into her. And whatever demonstrates that my heart is into her, that's something that all of us should be willing to do if you're trying to build a relationship. But tradition has a way of cutting that short because tradition makes us feel like we're obligated to do it. And there's no law behind a tradition, but people make traditions laws.
Yeah,
And tradition is not a
been
law.
from the beginning of
Tradition is
time.
just tradition is just right. It's
That's a good way to
something
put
that we
And they try
start
to
doing.
capitalize off of it.
Exactly.
course,
So it gets manipulated, and people capitalize off it.
Yeah.
Relationships are built on two people showing interest in one another, and how they express that interest in one another is not an obligation. It's a willing thing I'm willing to do because I want this woman, or I want that man. So I'm gonna show her. I'm gonna show him. I'm into them,
Right.
and I'm gonna do it.
Right.
So again,
But
it's not-
I had like an interesting story because when I was in, I had a boyfriend before I went to Fort Valley.
No, you didn't.
Yes, I did.
No, you didn't.
Yes, I did.
No, you didn't. I got you, Cody. No, you didn't. You didn't have
Can I
nobody.
finish? Can I finish?
Go ahead.
So he started military, and with I didn't have a mom, I didn't have my dad. So when I went to college, my grandpa gave me $1,000, and I had to kind of make that, livable for the next 4 years. So I didn't really have that much. So this guy went into the military, and he was telling me, "Oh, I love you. I want to marry you." Blah 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 blah. So I just had asked him. No, because he used to brag about what he used to buy and blah, blah. So I was like, okay, well, I need $50, you know, and I was just seeing if he was going to send it to me. You got all this money, you spending all this, send me $50. And he act like, oh, my goodness. I was asking for just too much.
How long was y'all together before you started asking for money, though?
Oh, we were together my entire senior year.
Oh, okay.
Too long.
Yeah,
I
so
would have sent that $50 through. You know what I'm saying? It was long enough.
so that let me know right then was that he was serious. He was just playing around. So when I started dating Cody, I don't know, it wasn't that long. I had asked him for $5 just to see. And you know, Cody was like, man. And he handed me the $5 though. He didn't want to, but he handed me $5, and I was like, okay, this is some potential because I just needed to know that I had somebody that's gonna have my back.
Gotcha.
Man, that $5 went a long way.
I
See
got
that $5 investment grow.
I like that.
Yeah, I definitely remember because I did not want to give you that $5. That's why I remember it. Why is it sad? I did not want to give her no $5.
I'm with you on that.
The way she said she needed it, it just didn't make sense. And so it sounded like it was like a
test?
Yeah. And so I'm like, either it's a test or she need this $5 and just don't have a wallet on her or something like that. So I didn't want to give it to her, but I did.
So let me ask y'all this, because I see this a lot in Atlanta where, especially being single on the dating scene, Atlanta women have a stigma of ain't nothing for free, period. Whether it's my time or anything else, ain't nothing for free. So I've heard certain men say they feel a certain type of way about placing cash in a woman's hand, but they'll go and buy the purse, they'll buy the shoes, they'll pay a bill, but they're not giving her cash.
Because they don't know.
Why is that?
The reason behind that, in my opinion, is because they don't know where that cash is going. That cash might be going to a household to where she already got a
So
dude.
it's a control thing?
No,
it could be
cash
going
might
to
be
another
going
guy.
to a household to where they got another dude.
Yeah.
You got a dude at the crib. If you got a dude at the crib,
I'm
dude's
not
gonna-
paying for no nigga. I
What?
ain't having
That's
it.
what I'm saying. You're not giving them cash and not knowing where the money going. You know what I'm saying?
But you could pay for material thing that could be sold.
Because that man is not gonna walk around with that purse.
Yeah.
Well,
But
no,
Atlanta,
but
Atlanta, never mind. I take that back. I take that back.
I just wondered, like, where did it come from?
Nah, 'cause it's like
because on the contrary, there are men who felt like it was almost a form of prostitution if they exchanged cash, like monetary.
Correct.
But it's not seen or viewed the same things if it's a purse,
Correct.
if it's red bottoms.
It's not, and the reason
it's,
it's
you know.
just what I said. People want to feel like if they're paying for something, they're paying for it for that one person. Because that one person, you could have a whole nother nigga at the crib, and he cool with you going out there doing what you got to do for us, quote unquote us. You know what I'm talking about? Because it benefits you.
Taking one for the team.
Right.
But how many situations really like that?
A lot.
Nowadays, yeah.
Yes, a lot. I wouldn't, man. Now you wouldn't get that $5 out of me right now.
They got cash up for that.
Yeah, yeah.
For real.
But I'll be on the real. You touched on it. There are women who don't mind asking for money, sending. You can request it.
Yeah, right.
Cash App works both ways.
Yeah,
not
it
just
does.
sending
It does.
somebody.
You can request
You
it,
ain't even got to send it to me. I can request it from you. And if you want my time, if you want to show me that you're interested,
That is literally
you-
prostitution.
That's what
Yeah.
That's cool.
Yeah, that is yeah.
it's a fine.
Nah, it's not.
It's a fine.
But I think because
line.
women have been so mistreated,
I think that's it too.
that's the problem. Oh, okay, so I need to get something out of it.
I agree with you. I think there's a stigma attached to it. But the other part of me, there's a part of me saying, get them red bottoms.
I'm with you,
Red
Mom.
bottoms.
I'm with you, Mom.
Red bar.
You want the bloody shoes, huh?
Get them
Yeah.
red bottoms.
Man,
baby.
okay.
Somebody be listening to Cardi
Get
B.
that Chanel number 5. Whatever he can give you, get it. That's a part of me now. I'm just saying that's a part of me saying that.
Moms, how long you been married?
A very long time.
34?
Wait a minute.
37.
Oh,
There you go,
Pops
Pops.
doing
There
what?
you go.
Oh,
Oh,
no.
man. Oh, love, man. Hey, man. I wasn't even ready for that. Go ahead.
Together.
37.
In his mind, he knew.
He counted all.
Pop said he count when he laid eyes on her. You hear me, Kim? When he laid eyes on her,
He
that's
told
when
me he
count.
does count all that time.
I would too.
I was with her.
Exactly.
Just because I hadn't officially said I do in front of a preacher don't mean she wasn't mine.
Hold up.
And I'm hurt.
Pops, you better
Wow.
talk that talk, Pops. Talk that
I ain't got
talk.
no organ.
Talk that talk.
Walk it like a talk it.
Hey, hey.
What I'm going to say is, guys, Christmas is Tuesday, okay? Christmas Tuesday. Do what I say, don't do what they say. On
Amen,
Thursday,
amen,
on Thursday,
amen,
maybe
amen.
Wednesday, you know what I'm saying? Call up and be like, yeah, I ain't seen you, know what I'm talking about, see you, and then leave. You got a present at the house already for her. Just have it. See how she act first.
Yes.
If she come in there with that craziness, acting stank, talking about you ain't did this, blah, 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 blah. Hey, well, you said my time is a gift. I gave you time. You didn't want that time. You really wanted something.
Hold up.
But you know what? Guess what? I'm going to bring you back to the house. I'm going to show you that gift that I had for you.
Okay.
And this is your parting gift.
Hey.
On to the next one. That's what you need to do.
Hey.
That's the test.
Pardon gift.
That's your parting gift. Thank you. This is your runner-up. You the runner-up. Thank you for coming. You know what I'm saying? Nobody goes home empty-handed. Let's go.
I don't see nothing wrong with it.
Okay. Anyway, let's go on and go to the next topic, boy. These women here, boy, I tell you.
Consolation prizes.
That's all. You know what I'm saying? Man, where am I at? Where am I? Sound
I
effects?
said a year.
Boy, book loud even. Boy, he loud
I heard
regardless.
it too.
Okay.
I heard it too.
Okay. Now we got those topics out the way. We're going to get a little bit more serious, I guess you could say. Not really. We don't never really get all the way serious on there. So we're going to go a little bit more important stuff we want to talk about. Mom's had a good topic for us. When you text me about
That's a
this?
long time ago. She
ago.
sent me that same message.
Yeah.
She sent me that same message. Yeah, it's
months
been a
ago.
while. It's been a while.
Moms wanted to talk about, and I agree. She wanted to know how you feel about pulling all your resources, like our families. You pull your resources together. You build kind of a estate, and you guys live there. Everybody put in on the finances for the housing and all that kind of stuff, because other ethnicities do it. Mom, do you want to break that down a little bit better for me?
Well, I don't remember what I was listening to at the time, but I thought it was a good idea. And I was saying to myself, we all in 3-4 different houses paying mortgages and rent. What if we had one big house and everybody contributed to that? And then everybody else, then we could save money and time and resources. And I think the only thing, and I think I was part of an online group, the only thing we said it wouldn't work is because people had egos. And nobody wants to humble themselves to stay under the same roof and to make it work.
Well, this is how I feel about that. I don't have an ego about that because I would love for my bills to be split up with everybody and everybody be paying the cable bill and all that. My issue is room. I got to have my own room. Sometimes you want to walk around like Pops. You want to do the Ball Johnson dance. You know what I'm saying? Balls go one way, Johnson go the other way. You got to do it. And, you know what I'm saying? You just want to be free sometimes in your house. And I don't want to get up and walk around. And I'm sure Bree don't want to get up and walk around and see, you know what I'm saying? Pops just walking through here, going to do what he ever got to do. You know what I'm saying? So, and it's his house. I can't tell that man what to do. We paying this equally. So I think that would be the only thing. I think it might be generational. You know what I mean? Who knows? We all, back in the plantations, we all kind of live together, and people want their space now. You like, hey, move. Hey, I see you when I can see you. I don't know. I'm not against it. if it's going to be a house, it's going to be like, we're going to have to buy like land. Sections. And then I got my house over here, my house over there, my house over there. And then I guess we split it that way. But I can see that more than like if I won the lotto, hey, this is our estate. And then you got your house down the street, you know what I'm saying? You about a mile right here. I can see that better than we all live under the same roof. And then, you know what I'm saying, Pops don't feel free And you know how you be getting down, Mom. Sometimes you want to just jump on Pops, and don't nobody want to walk into that.
All right.
You know what I'm saying?
We doing a little too much
Yeah,
now.
but,
We're doing too much now.
Hold on.
All right, now.
Amen.
All right, Mom. Okay, Mom. We get it. We get it.
Hold up, Bree. I know you're a little young for this, but how do you feel about that? Would you like that everybody just lived under the same roof?
Yes, because I would feel closer to my family and not have to worry about, like, you know, like now, like this is, you know, it's been a while since I've been here for Christmas, and like all of us, I think, have been together. So it'd make it easier for, you know, all of us to be here, you know, year round, all the time. But then it's also like, well, I'll see you year round all the time.
A blessing and a curse.
Yes.
You don't want to see us every day, Bree? Is that what you're trying to say?
I do. Just
Not all
just
day,
get out her room.
every
That's
minute.
what
Yeah.
Get out her
She
room.
want her own room.
Yeah,
I
she
got
want her
you.
space.
And then I also like the feeling of, you know, like, because all semester I've been like thinking about Christmas, like, oh, I get to come and see, so I kind of like that feeling. But yeah,
But you wouldn't have that if you saw us every day, because it wouldn't be the same.
You be coming somewhere else for Christmas.
But I get it. But I mean, I think about it. I see these huge estates in Atlanta and a lot of major metros, even out here in the country. These houses are big enough for people not to see each other. You literally got your wing. Somebody else has their wing. They have a great or a common area for dinners or entertainment and things of that nature. So and then I've been watching Greenleaf. So I know it is entirely possible for families to live in the same home. And then I like my family. I definitely would say it's not for everybody.
Yeah.
But for us that we get along, but you know, somebody might say we get along because we don't see each other all day, every day. But at the same time, like, my family cool. I would be okay. And I think I was just talking to my friend. I was just like, if it was up to my sister, we would all live in one big old happy house, and Kim would be fine with that.
So what you gonna say? Pops, go put some pants on?
I wouldn't have to, because I wouldn't even see it. You know, I ain't gonna be there anyway. I'm gonna come tipping in later on. You know what I'm saying? Look, I mean, with a big enough estate or establishment or house,
Absolutely.
you don't even you have enough room to be able to roam as you please on that. Now, we ain't say you got to go all the way to the kitchen like that.
Right.
But I mean, you would have. I've seen houses that have their own separate living quarters.
Yeah.
You have everything you need right there. You got your little entertainment room. You got the refrigerator. You know, whatever you need, your bathroom, everything is right there. If you're coming into a common area, see, what us as black folks, we have a problem setting boundaries and respecting people's boundaries.
Right.
Yes.
And there would have to be ground rules laid down just for the respect of everybody involved, so that we don't step on each other's toes. You know, some people aren't morning people. Some people like to go to bed with the chickens. Like, it just depends. Those boundaries have to be set up, and that respect has to be there in order for something like that to work. But I feel like if we had enough space, the whole wanting to be free would not even be an issue.
And you know, Adrian, your mom brought this up years ago.
Yeah, she keep telling me. Yeah.
She was the first person. She was like,
She
Joe.
said it like when she was young. They said
I would, you know, we've been friends since I was 12, right? And she was like, Joe, we really can make this. I remember her telling me this when we were teenagers. We could all live under the same house.
Because we did that kind of.
Well, we did. Well, that's a good point. There was 9 of us in the house at one time, at one point, when you guys moved out here, and we made it work.
I remember we slept on the floor just fine. I mean, it was just that was that time period. But I seen it firsthand. Reason why I would say yes and would go with the Landria estate type, not maybe bigger than this. Like, everybody had this type of room in their own living. I've seen this happen. I was a banker, and it was a Hispanic family. I watched. I saw. I'm like, okay, I know they work regular jobs, but in this account that I was depositing money every week, it was $100,000 just continuously. That was their balance. I was like, what? And then I asked them, I said, what do y'all do? I'm like, I see y'all just come here regular. Like, what do y'all do? Oh, well, we all got family. We all live in the same house. You know, they you know, everybody got a job, and then when they get married, then they have the decision they want to move or stay, but everybody puts in on it. and they deposited to this main account all their money. They bought their cars. You know, everybody used the same cars. They had a nice. I went to actually. I saw. I became friends with one of them and went to their house. I said, it was a nice size house. Everybody had their own room. You know, and they just toughed it out. And they was like, not tough it. They was living pretty nice in a nice neighborhood. And but what got me, I'm like, they had $100,000 in this family account, and I'm like, just chilling, working regular jobs, nothing, no millionaires. They just all in the same, but they was able to save all that money from all the mortgages, and everybody's paying that one account, and they worked, and they was literally that was like what they had 5 kids or something like that, and you know they all stayed in the same roof, and it worked for them. Financially, and that's what I liked it for.
I mean,
financially,
you have to be able to trust people. You have to be able to trust each other because when it comes to money, you can get killed over money.
Right. Absolutely. But I mean, I think it's a cultural difference. I think we just been so not necessarily oppressed. I don't want to say that's the word, but I think
oppressed. Yes, but we also have always been fighting for our own.
And so, I think that's what it was because I think in our culture, that's a good point. 18, we was always like. In our culture, most cultures, not our family. Our family was a little different. My mom wanted me to stay forever. At one point in time, she did at one point. She was like, I didn't care. But then when we got 18, most black families say, "Hey, you got to get out and get your own." I had, "Hey, you on your own, getting that $1,000." I'd never got that. You know what I'm saying? I had nothing going to college. I had to go find a scholarship. You know, figure it out. But I think it will help financially, and we will be able to own more as a culture. And we, you know, all those neighborhoods that get bought up. That we see, we can go buy those things.
I see us doing it on a different level, not necessarily doing it to where it's residential. Can we do it on a level to where we own property collectively?
But it would have to be. You have to start off trying to live together in order to build up those resources.
I get that.
Unless I hit this lotto, you ain't got to worry about that. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna hit this lotto, man. I'm gone.
Podcast be gone.
Nah, we still gonna do the podcast then.
It be him. He said, "Yeah, I couldn't holler at everybody else. I'm out here on this beach, chilling. I couldn't talk to the other folks. They don't have my number, so I'm doing my thing right now. I can see that.
Well, one of the things I want us to think about is that how all of us struggle. Some of us struggle with student loans and all that stuff. That shouldn't be in our next generation. When JR gets ready to go to school, all of us should be a part of that. You see what I'm saying? When Bree gets ready to go to school, all of us should help pay for that.
All of y'all should help
pay. When Cameron gets ready to go, it shouldn't be a matter of the finances. It should be where are you going? Yep. And then all of us should have the mindset of we making that happen for the next generation.
I definitely agree with that. I definitely agree with that. One thing I could say to that is that we probably more than 2 years before, because Bree's gonna be in college in 2 years. Hate to say it, but she's gonna be in college in 2 years, and so we only got 2 years to actually get things up. You know what I'm saying? And so now all we can do is actually try to do scholarships and stuff like that. So we hadn't put money into a certain fund, but yes, for Cameron and for Lil Man, we need to be making sure that we're actually taking care of the kids.
So where do we start with that? How do you start?
That's just like a college fund, though.
Yeah.
Well, not even just a college fund. I'm just saying, how do we bring it all together?
We put
resources.
Right.
But you have to be willing to.
I was about to say, if it depends on what we're trying to start first. Are we trying to start, get some land and build a house and something big enough that all of us could? Because especially here in Texas, you can buy a house for what we paying in our mortgage right now. If we paid double that, we could get a house 3-4 times this size, and then have enough room for everybody. It really would. And so you wouldn't even really have to do more than what you're doing right now. Whatever you paying in rent right now, you could put that in and have your own little slice in there.
So what we gonna do? So what we gonna do? Put $5 in every month?
No, I'm not saying.
No, I'm saying what I'm trying to a call to action. What we gonna do?
Well, it just depends. We could. It would have to start with a serious sit down situation.
This is a sit down. This is a sit down. Can we?
Nah, this ain't the one.
because you
This
have
ain't
to have
the-
lawyers
This ain't the
involved.
one. for that.
All right,
This
okay.
ain't the one for that.
I'm trying to. I need the action. Let's get that action.
But-
this is how it would go.
but
We would
most-
come together. Everybody would have to come and agree that we're gonna sit down. We're gonna put it all out on the table. This is what our finances look like. Because I'm not gonna require you to do more than you really can.
There you go.
You know what I mean? But you gotta be. We're black people. We got this stigma. We don't like talking about money. What's in your pocket is yours. What's in my pocket is mine. We gotta get out of that. So if we really talking about doing something, we would have to agree that we putting all of our cards on the table. This is what our finances look like. What can you do every month? What can you do every month? What can you realistically do every month? And then we
I can
agreed
cook.
to put that together.
She said that I can cook for y'all.
I can cook.
It is what it is.
But
Like,
we know that when you get some, when
Oh,
you
yeah.
do come into it, we've got to be able to trust it. Okay, when she gets some, she putting it into this fund.
Yeah, for
But
sure.
it's not gonna work unless we trust and unless we honest and have open lines of communication.
okay.
So how do you feel about this as well? Bringing an outside party that handles the finances.
Nope.
Nope.
So you don't
I
think financial
No, because I
advisors
think we have enough
and
people involved right now
Because
that actually
a lot of
can
people,
understand
a
that.
lot of people been played by
Yeah.
third
I
parties.
would say with
I
the
wouldn't-
intelligence in this room, I think we have enough to figure it
Yeah, I
out.
don't think we
I
need
wouldn't
to.
go and get a third party
I
right
don't-
now.
yeah.
I wouldn't mind
until,
getting.
until the money started growing more and more to where
Makes
we
sense.
get somebody to start diversifying these
Right.
stocks.
Well, I
and
wouldn't
portfolios
mind.
Gotcha,
and all that
I
gotcha.
wouldn't mind getting
But
a
for
third
right
party
now, we got
for.
enough intelligence in here to figure it
Oh.
out.
But I wouldn't mind getting a third party for, because like Adrian said, how do we start? And everybody said that's a good idea. I mean, good question. I wouldn't mind getting a third party person for some type of consulting
Yeah.
That still costs. No,
and a lawyer.
that still
Well,
costs.
You need
all that.
well,
costs.
You
well,
have
And
to.
you need it,
I'm-
yes.
They're
but
going
I'm
to
with
have to
y'all.
have
Have
it.
a lawyer in the
I'm with y'all, but I think the podcast people is like, we not in on this. We don't care. So we had this conversation a little later offline because I know the podcast people like, nigga, we don't care about it. Okay.
But no, it's something that
but
our
not
culture needs to
economic
think about.
empowerment,
And that's fine.
fellas.
And that's fine.
And
Exactly.
fellas.
Something for you guys to look at in your family.
Yeah.
It's gonna take a little time for me because I come from the juvenile philosophy. He's a great philosopher. But
What's
Amen,
the
amen,
philosophy?
amen.
juvenile
Amen.
said, "My business is my business. It ain't to be heard.
Heard.
My niggas is my niggas, so you don't,
Don't
say
say
a word.
Ah.
And you don't
Hold up.
touch my shit. You don't drive my shit. I got dope in the house and I hide my shit. You know what I'm saying? So hey,
Oh look.
it is.
Hold up.
He said, I got bad nerves. I hope you don't try my shit. You do right and nice things, I'm gonna buy my shit. You know what I'm saying?
Hey, hold on,
Hey.
dog. He
But
preaching the word.
that's
dog,
it.
boy. Hey, we can't
You
get
know
no
what
snaps.
I'm
We can't get no snaps. All right.
Hey,
Okay.
you know what I'm talking about?
All right. All right.
Unfortunately, I mean, but hey, man,
For juvenile.
juvenile, man, he got all the bars, man,
Underrated.
all the
Underrated.
bars.
Underrated. Underrated. Underrated.
Dang.
Underrated. That's
I
all he
said,
is.
hey, yeah.
Okay, we done knocked out 3 topics. I think we can slide one more up in here before we get up out of here, because I don't think this is gonna take too much longer. But I do need to understand where this comes from, and I want to start with moms and pops on this one, just for the simple fact of it's hard for me to understand. I have a problem with this all the time. I don't understand why black people treat black businesses different than they treat other businesses.
Oh man.
And it's just, to me, it baffles me. I can't understand it. I don't understand when I see people. I'm in a black business, like I'm in a barbershop. You come in and ask for a discount.
Yeah.
You're not gonna go to them little raggedy cut
You ain't
just
gonna
for
go to-
cuts
you ain't
people.
gonna go to Supercuts
And-
asking
yeah,
for-
Supercuts asking for a discount.
50% off.
I'm like,
Yeah.
so to me, it bothers me over when you see somebody that looks like you, got something, they doing something right, and then you always want a shortcut from the people like that. Like it ain't business. Like I still don't need to make this money. And I have a big issue with that type of stuff. And she know, Kim know, because I go off on people for that. I go off on, if my mom looked like she teetering a little bit. Hey, now come on now. You're not about to tell a little white lady the same thing. You better go chill out. You know what I'm saying? So
You negotiate everything.
it is what it is.
I do it with
Now, if you're gonna do it with everybody, then you do it with everybody. But you're not you're not walking in Gucci talking about, can I get this for $15?
Because they gonna tell
You're
you
gonna
ass
tell you
to
to
get
get
up
your
out
ass
of
up out of
here.
here. So
Yeah.
that's my issue. Don't go into people's business.
Well, maybe
talking-
because a lot of black businesses don't don't run like the other ones do. Either.
We gonna,
but you gotta
we-
start
hold up,
somewhere.
hold up,
You gotta start
hold up. We gonna get into all that. How y'all feel about that? But I want to know where moms and pops is coming on this subject. I want to know how they feel about this. If they could give me the root of why people, I don't understand it.
Stereotype.
What stereotype?
The stereotype of black folk, of what black folk represent, based on what the stereotype of black people are, the struggle, as we like to say, the struggle is real, that kind of thing. You always referring to slavery, what we come out of. To reminisce about and think about what we come out of is one thing, but how you go forward is something entirely different. But our mindset doesn't change. That's the problem with us. Our mentality don't change. We expect because we're black, we've all suffered the same things. When I come to you, I deserve a break. See, that's a stereotype. And you holding me captive to something that we've gone through and that you won't do to the other people that's not included in our little thing here. So I hold you accountable because you're a black sister, you're a black brother. You should be the one to give me a break. But you ain't the one that's mistreated me. It's them folk out there that's been doing it. But I'm coming to you because of the stereotype of what our struggle is. I'm looking for you for all the empathy and sympathy. So I'm looking for you for the break. So it's simple. It's a stereotype. That's where it all begins.
And we do that with just when we get successful, not even having a business.
Yep.
People looking at people looking at us when you become successful. Oh, well, you making this kind of money, you should be helping me pay my bills, or you should be helping me get blah 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 blah. So that goes both ways.
Yep, it does.
Moms don't want to talk on it. Y'all can't see Mom's face, but she's over it already. She is so over it.
Listen, it's going to sound so bad.
Nah, go ahead, Moms.
It really is.
Let them know.
However, some of us, we have undervalued ourselves. Well, we don't value our own selves, and so therefore we undervalue others. And so sometimes we don't realize what our worth is. And once you realize your worth, then you won't try to undercut somebody else's worth. And so for me, it's been something that's always bothered me. And I'm like LaFrance with this one. I'm right in his corner with this. Why you asking me for a cut or whatever? Did you go ask Susie for a cut or whatever?
Niggas do the same thing for chosen musicians.
Why do
Tell
they
them to
do
pay them
that?
25.
You know, appreciate my gift. Appreciate my gift. And so I get mad. I really do. Because I see it, and I think we just need to do better. I don't want to say some other words that's in my heart. But I think we need to do better and value each other. That's what I really think.
I think we do in our circle, but outside of our circle is where the issues come in my opinion. So I think we can do it within our circle and be the change we want to see, I guess. But the change takes a lot. It takes a long time to actually see it, and so it gets frustrating.
But the thing is, though, when you say that, we have supported diehardly black-owned businesses and been burnt.
Personally, we do.
Process.
Yeah. Of course, but we have actually supported white businesses and been burnt too, but ain't do nothing about that. We go to we'll mess around and go to McDonald's, and then don't. Nah, I ain't talking about that.
The ice cream machine is down.
Yeah.
We still go back every time, hoping
That's what
that
I'm
ice
saying.
cream machine
That's what I'm
gonna
saying.
be working.
That's what I'm saying. We'll go and get messed over.
But we have one bad experience. We were like, this why I
That's
don't
why
shop.
That's why I'm fool with black businesses.
But you know, McDonald's franchise, a lot of black people are franchise McDonald's.
Yeah.
That's why they ice cream machine don't work.
That ain't why. That didn't come from the MVP. That came from Landria. What's your email address? Because we need people to send they send their complaints directly to you. But no, at the same time, though, like I'm saying, we really do we treat ourselves way worse than we treat our components, I guess. You know what I mean? So just like I was saying, like with McDonald's or something like that, any restaurant that you go to and you might have a bad experience, You're not saying I'm never going back there. You're like, nah, I might not go back to that one. You might go to another one. So you have a little bit of options. I understand that.
But I guess it's all just how human beings, how we perceive things, right? McDonald's or Chick-fil-A, it seems like way out of our reach, right? Besides a black person that we may know, it seems like they're closer. Just like you can be jealous of somebody. I can be jealous of Miss Joanne because I can relate to her. But somebody else that I don't even know or see on TV, a celebrity, have all these things, and I'm not jealous. So it has something to do with being able to relate
internally.
I think sometimes when it comes to me, it all depends on the business. Like sometimes people with a lot of money that start business, I be frustrated that they start the wrong type of business sometimes. Like, I think
they don't know enough about it.
Not even necessarily know enough about it. They just don't. Like, I'm trying to give an example. They just like, you know, or let's say somebody giving to a charity. Like it's always a big deal every year. You know, a lot of people, millionaires, they always, you know, give to certain charities or they'll start their own charities. But I sometimes just don't support the cause of, you know, why are you giving to United Way every year? Why are we not like that's so people even with the millionaires that are with money. So you said because I always like I used to clown like a lot of NBA, NFL players because I didn't like where they're spending their money. But LeBron was one of the first. That's the one thing I'll give LeBron. I always appreciate how LeBron.
You gotta give him more than that.
How LeBron was able to, you know, put his own people on and his team around him. And
brought
also
his people up. Brought his people up
with him. Kevin Hart brought his people. I like to support stuff like that.
Yeah.
So it'd be certain businesses of how they, I know people say, oh, you shouldn't be worried about how they spend their money. I said, yeah, if I'm supporting it, I'm a little concerned how they, you know, if I don't watch the game, went to a Mavs versus Lakers game or Mavs versus Cavaliers game, I want you to, you know, when we get the money from the ticket sales and everything like that. I know it's coming from the owner, but the ownership take a lot of that from the ticket sales to pay their players.
Yeah.
And so we want to see certain things. That's why the whole kneeling down situation was a big issue because we saw it was an opportunity for black because each NFL, NBA player, that's a black business. And to be honest with you, every last one of them individually black business. And for you to not to support a cause of another man doing that, because what if all of them just knelt down? What if all the black people? That's 95% of the NFL.
Yeah.
And that's why it was such a big issue, you know, going against that. So even in that way, I'm like, even in music, like, I'm just going based on my own personal.
Right.
Even in music, I do security at concerts sometimes. Hip hop, we have an issue with the content, but white people don't. I've seen, you know, the most people that go to concerts of hip hop, number white people, her age, 16, 18, like 20. They real young. They in there though.
Know every word.
Know every word.
They actually bought
saying the
CD
N-word all day. We can't do nothing about it. We doing security. We watch. I'm like, dang. But that's another black business that we're not supporting. But I think it's based on sometimes the content of how they're, you know, how they're representing our culture and whether they're investing their money. Even though we're not supposed to count, you know, how people do it, but I do because if I'm supporting something like, if y'all support chosen music, I'm not gonna be out here just talking reckless like, you know, doing that because ain't nobody gonna support it.
You talking reckless?
Every day.
I don't talk reckless like
not in public.
You won't never hear it in public.
And y'all will never hear anything bad from chosen music.
You won't. But no, so I think I was giving an example. I'm trying to think of another like food. I think food is.
I was gonna say, especially being in Atlanta, I think it's like the mecca for black small businesses.
Yeah, it's the mecca for black everything.
True.
Yeah.
And it's growing and it's becoming gentrified. Don't get it wrong, but a lot of these businesses are not able to thrive because we are trying to lift up our own.
Correct.
So you got to understand they have cousins and uncles and daughters that they are trying to help keep off the streets, keep out of government offices, getting assistance and things of that nature.
Right.
And they don't always do right.
Right.
So they're taking a loss because they feel obligated to employ us, whether we're the best candidate for it or not. Mm-hmm. So they sacrifice service. They sacrifice quality for trying to be for the culture. Yeah. And all of us aren't going to do right. You can be a black-owned business and still employ other ethnicities and races.
Mm-hmm. True.
If it works for your business. But it's also easier for me if I go to a soul food restaurant and the service is bad. It ain't nothing for me to go down the block and I got 8 more restaurants to choose from in that area.
Yeah, like
So
a place to be
accessibility.
like that, yeah.
You know, accessibility. That's what it really comes down to. But when I see it firsthand, I look at who's in the kitchen. I look at who's taking the orders. I look at who's running. One of the, my favorite brunch spots, the owner comes out from the back of house. She's talking to all the tables. How's it going?
How long has that been open though? Because it's about longevity too.
This one has been open a little. Well, they just changed management, but it's
Okay.
just been open newly now, a little less than a year.
Okay, that's what I'm saying because
So-
it's about longevity as well. Because if you go to a spot and then it's only been open for a couple of weeks or a couple of months, it
They
doesn't
might
have-
still be working out the
You
kinks.
know what's a good
True.
example of that?
True.
The Breakfast Club. Every
Houston.
experience
Somebody in
in
Houston?
Houston.
Yeah,
Every-
me and Adrian
there's a black
talk
owned
about this.
business.
We talk about this so often.
Every time I go in there, I have the exact same experience.
And the same
And
lady
the same
will meet you.
lady
Yeah.
meets you outside with your
Yeah.
menu. She's talking to you. The owner, he comes out. He
Yeah.
comes to the table. He
Yeah.
asks you how your
Yeah.
food was.
Yeah.
The quality is always there. I have not.
And that's
ever
why
had
people
a
wait.
bad experience.
Yep,
That's
wait
why
in
they
line.
waiting in
That's
line.
why
In
they
line
and
wait.
that's
for
and that's
that
wh-
food.
and that's
And
why
so
they hadn't
black.
expanded. That's why they're keeping it right there. I guess they expanded the spot right behind them.
Yeah,
they have like
they have a brunch spot
Yeah,
behind,
yeah.
yeah.
That's it though. They hadn't done anything.
But that's about
else.
finding your niche and
Yeah.
knowing how to capitalize on
Correct,
it
correct.
while still remaining financially positive on the green
Right.
versus taking a loss in many areas. So, but it's a art.
Right.
A lot of small business they fail in their first year
Most of
because
them,
we are sometimes our toughest critics.
Yep.
Cause we coming in there,
Especially in the restaurant
we
game.
want
Yeah.
it can't be one. Don't
We shut
you got
ourselves down.
exactly.
We shut ourselves down.
Exactly. So I mean, I try to support, but even now, how many of us bank black? As many black-owned banks
They
out
got a
there.
couple of. I think the issue, me personally, is banking black. It's not as convenient
Exactly.
as other opportunities. You might
Especially if you travel a lot.
correct.
Your bank
I'm
way
sorry, I
in
love
Atlanta.
USAA.
Yeah,
And you way in Texas.
yeah.
But
me
even
too.
banking
Me
with
too,
Navy
Kim.
Federal, I was telling Mom and Kim, I drive 40 minutes to my closest branch, which in Atlanta turns into an hour and a half to 2 hours, depending on the time of day.
But it's the service.
It's because the service.
And it's pretty
Pretty
exclusive,
much.
too. It's
It
an
is.
And the
exclusive
benefits.
bank.
It
Benefits,
benefits me in other ways, but we take those losses depending on. But that, just like you mentioned, the Breakfast Club, people will wait. You don't go into Breakfast Club expecting to walk
Nah,
right in and sit
you're
down.
expecting to wait in line.
If I
Exactly.
go to
Right.
Chick-fil-A, have to wait 2 hours, then it's a problem.
And people still gonna wait. You know what I'm saying?
I'll wait about 10, 15 minutes for
If
Chick-fil-A.
you
but not
are
enough.
providing a great
But you don't wait
service-
way longer for Breakfast Club. Though.
Oh, like
yeah.
an hour, 2 hours.
Yeah.
So
Just
then
stand in line. Stand in line.
There's a vegan food truck in Atlanta, Slutty Vegan. I'm not even vegan. Best burgers you ever tasted. But people, rain, snow, sleet, or shine, they are a food truck that drops their location at 3 p.m. every day, and then it opens up at 7 until they close down, and it's in a different spot. People literally wait at 3 p.m.
To see
where they're going to be, and they will. It don't care if it's a thunderstorm
Black
outside. Yes, black owned. They will wait in line for. I waited almost 2 hours, and there's a max. You can't just go and ball out. They put a maximum, 2 burger maximum per customer. Like they've found their niche and found a way to capitalize on
when
it.
you do
But
stuff
they
like
have
that,
their marketing strategy, social media. That's the only way you're gonna know where they're at is if you are following them on social media. I mean, and it's $18 burgers. But I guarantee you that's the best doggone burger I done had.
You ain't had my burger. You ain't had my burger.
The quality, the
You
service,
ain't gonna get
the
no burger.
customer service, all of that is hands
She
down.
had your turkey. She
You
Nah,
know,
let me
so
leave-
you get
let
nothing.
me
We gonna
leave this
bring that
alone.
up. We gonna bring that up.
Let me leave it alone, man. But I think this is a great conversation, man. This another one that could literally go on all night.
So
It's
what's some last thoughts you can leave with that? How do people? I mean,
You taking over the show now?
No, I'm not.
You taking over the show now?
I do like what he's saying though.
Nah, I already had this
I'm on
going
his
on.
side,
I
though.
had this going on.
No,
I
okay.
only one person
Luke
going in.
Cage signing off.
I only have one person that I want to hear from.
Okay.
This evening.
So we can't listen to him.
Huh?
We can't listen.
Listen to who?
We can't listen. This is a democracy, right?
Nah, not on the MVP.
Oh, it ain't.
Nah, on the MVP.
Oh shit, I ain't.
You know what I'm saying?
I ain't no difference.
But anyway,
No difference.
We ain't worried about you.
all I had to say, I want to hear from one person
In closing.
before we get up out of here. You know what I'm saying? I want to hear from Cambria.
Ah.
I know it's been hard to sit through these last two topics. I understand that because you're a little younger for you. Did you learn anything today? If not, it's fine. You more advanced than a normal person.
I learned something.
That's what's happening. Do you have anything you want to add on one of those topics? Anything you want to say or anything like that?
No, but let me say what I learned.
Go ahead.
That the men in my family are never gonna let me have a boyfriend.
Amen. Amen.
She was still stuck on that for the first one.
Yeah.
You
She said I can't let Trey come to the family.
You can
Trey gotta stay. No.
You can have a boyfriend just long as you talking. You know what I'm saying? Don't do nothing else. Man, but before we get out, anybody else have anything besides Adrian? Pops, you got anything in closing?
Closing remarks, Pops. Pops choked up over there.
That's a good one, though.
My bad, man. What you got, man? You got anything before we get out of here? Okay, man. Just, you know what I'm saying? It's cool.
I'd like to shout out a black-owned business that I patronize very frequently.
Okay.
Her name is John A, and she's a fan of the MVP.
Yes, she is.
She just opened up her new shop. It's called Otai and Ann, after her and her partner's grandmothers. And she sells natural deodorants and beauty bars. She does makeup. She has wigs. She does my hair. She does everything. And
she does Cameron's hair too.
Yeah, she does Cameron's hair as well, and she is amazing. So shout out to Otai and Ann, Miss John A.
And she's a Saints fan.
And she's a Saints fan, yes.
Yeah.
Thank you for that. Anybody else have anything else before we get up out of here? We always shout out chosen musician. I think you could do it yourself today.
We good? Everybody go around. It was a good show today. ChosenMusicians.com.
Thank you.
Dope music.
There we go. Get your hoodie. You know what I'm talking about?
Dope hoodies too. Dope hoodies. Very dope.
We got AverageBlackMan.com. We got some blogs coming.
Oh yeah, we got blogs coming.
When the next one?
I got one coming next week.
You sure it's gonna be next week?
It's probably gonna be next. I'm my own boss.
Your wife looking like, oh,
I'm
it
my
ain't
own
next
boss.
week.
I do what
I
I
understand.
want to.
That's why we asking the boss, but we don't know when that blog gonna come out. It could be a month from now. We see that next blog.
It'll be out next week.
Okay,
It'll be out
no
next
problem.
week. It'll be out next week.
Everybody be on the lookout.
AverageBlackMan.com. If I don't put it out, check what I got already on there.
I want everybody to know I posted on the MVP page about Cody's blog, and we had a couple haters.
Oh yeah.
We had a couple
that
haters.
was funny.
And I actually want everybody to know I don't discourage haters. I actually enjoy it.
You didn't tell me about that one.
Yes. Oh yeah. He called Cody, I think, a jackass or something like that. Yeah.
Yeah.
It was
some guy did.
some guy. We ain't got to go into that, but it does not hurt our feelings. I actually enjoyed it. I mean, hey, it's another perspective.
He said, Franz hit me up in the group chat. He said, "You know this nigga?" He screenshot. You know this nigga? I was like, "Nah, I know."
I thought that was one of your partners or something. I was like, okay, whatever.
Nah, I ain't know him.
But hey,
it was some ignorant stuff, man.
hey,
It was what it was.
whether you agree with what we talking about or you disagree, that's fine. That's what conversation is about.
Yes,
That's
sir.
fine. Leave a comment. I'm cool with you hating. I ain't never gonna be mad. You ain't gonna see me hitting you up on Instagram or wherever we at, trying to get back at you. I can care less. It's actually hilarious to me. We welcome all hate mail. Also, make sure we on YouTube. Follow the
Yeah.
MVP on YouTube.
Yeah, I gotta
Man's
follow
View
us.
Podcast.
Follow
Subscribe. Hit that thumbs up button. Also, if you don't want to go on YouTube because we ain't got no visual yet, so you're gonna be listening to it. If you want to skip the commercials, go on Apple Podcasts. We also on Google Podcasts and a whole bunch of other podcast apps. You know what I'm saying? That's how we doing it. We doing it big.
Hey, you know it. You know how we do. We do it when we do it, and when we do it, it's done.
It's done. You know what I'm saying? And I think we can go out on that, my man. I wish I could play some music, man. We can't play no music.
We don't want to get kicked off. We
Don't want to get kicked off.
It must have been a lot of people listening to us.
Yo,
They
Cody,
hit us.
the family is here.
Yeah.
Bust a 15. Not a whole 16. A 15 before we get out of here.
15?
A bust a 15 before we get out of here.
Freestyle.
Uh,
All right.
yeah. MVP.
Hey.
Yeah.
Hey. Okay.
It might not happen, y'all. Okay.
Hey. It's that boy Vel. And I'm riding on the beat.
Ride on the
Let
beat.
the boys know. Don't repeat.
Oh, repeat.
Listen to what I'm saying. Yeah, I ain't playing.
Playing.
We sipping. We killing it. I'm saying.
Oh,
what
no.
redo it. Pops, don't laugh, because I'm going to redo it.
Well,
Listen to
that,
where it goes.
hold up.
It's
Hold
that
up.
boy Vel,
Hold up.
AKA
Hold up.
Go.
A to the D.
Hey,
O double G. Yep.
Ranking on the mic.
Yeah, you know who this be? Hey. Y'all want me to come out the retirement?
Come on. Listen up.
Let me hear the beat.
Hey.
It's the MVP. We'll see y'all next time.